What up, people? It's Ashley coming at you from Waikato University in New Zealand. I'm here again. I'm going to tell you about my first 2 weeks in New Zealand, which have been really awesome so far. There's been a lot of good things. But first of all, this is a study abroad blog, and I want to talk to people who are, or my goal is to reach people who are trying to study abroad. And one thing that's really important about studying abroad is getting scholarships, because I would not be here right now if I didn't get a scholarship. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And I guess just starting off with that, I have a little list here of things I want to talk to you about. So if I look that way, it's because I'm reading off that list. So the first thing would pretty much be finding a scholarship. And really, there are so many out there. There's just tons and tons of scholarships that are available. So if you're saying that you can't find any, you're not looking. Like, really, you're just not looking. Two good ones to start out with are the FEA, the Fund for Education Abroad, and the Gilman Scholarship. The Gilman Scholarship is what I'm doing this blog for, but also just because I want to help you. And there's another good one. There is the STA scholarship. That one would have been, I applied for that one, but I didn't get it. But still, that one would have given you $15,000 to go study abroad for a year. So, like, I mean, just think about like what you could do with $15,000 for a year to study abroad. And like, some people even make money like by getting scholarships while studying abroad. So really, just like, there's so many out there. Just Google it. But if you don't want to Google it, like, and you want to look for something really specific, I would actually recommend first you should go to your school's study abroad like office, or whoever manages the students who studies abroad at your university, because they actually introduced me to the scholarships that I got, and they were really helpful, and they'll probably be really excited that you're there. So I would highly recommend going to visit them. So once you've found the scholarship that you want to apply for, now you gotta apply for it, right? So the biggest part about that is probably writing your personal statement. And so in your personal statement, I would say it's really good to be as genuine as you can be. You know, let the people who you're writing to know who you are and what you have gone through to get to where you are today. Because if you are in school, there's a high likelihood that you have been through something to get to where you are today. So I think it's important to highlight any adversities that you have gone through, but also not over exaggerate, but, you know, show them that you have been through something. You show them that you do work hard and that you've gone through something to get to where you are today, but also show them all of the work that you've done and how that has affected you as a person, and how you want to take the lessons that you have learned from any challenges that you have had, and how you want to use those to become a better person in the future, or use it towards your to improve yourself in your career. And you know, just highlight those types of things, because I think they really want to give money to somebody who really deserves it. You know, you want to give money to somebody who really wants this. And this is an education-based themed scholarship, you know, studying abroad. So they want somebody who is really invested in their education and is really invested in their future. And you just have to show them that. So another thing that I would highly recommend doing is going to your school's writing center. Like, if they have any like English or writing like tutors or anything like that, or just like anybody who's willing to help you with your personal statement, use it. Really use it, because I have read over personal statements like seriously like 20 times, and I still am not able to completely pick out everything that I've done wrong. I've still like glazed over errors and grammatical mistakes and typos and things that like they're really big. If they see that in your personal statement, it's not a good thing to have a typo in your personal statement, because to them it shows to them that you're not looking over your stuff and you don't really care about the type of work that you put in. So that goes back to showing like what kind of a person you are and how invested you are in your future and presenting yourself as a professional. So I would highly recommend to use any sort of writing center, or just maybe ask your school study abroad advisor or a teacher or your friend or your mom or anybody. Like, really just have somebody, maybe even multiple people, and it would be better if it was somebody who was very well versed in like grammar and you know, just knows a little bit more about personal statements. But you know, really just anybody, if that's all you have, just you have anybody read over your personal statement and look it over before you send it in, because that is a huge part. And it's not very likely that you're going to get a scholarship if your personal statement has a typo or something in it. So really just look it over and over and over and over. Okay, so the next important part I really want to talk about is getting good references. This is a really important thing, because your reference letters may also make or break you. You want somebody to write good things about you. You don't want somebody to write bad things about you. So early on in your college career, especially if you're a freshman out there and you're listening to this right now, like, make friends with your teachers, or, you know, just develop some sort of relationship with your teachers. Like, be interested in what they're talking about. Pay attention in class. Like, really, it's the best thing you could ever do for your career and just for yourself, like, growth as a person, because you're paying money to be in school. You might as well get something out of it, like learn something out of it, really. And they are there like with the full intent and like goal of teaching you. So like, really just pay attention in class. And I will say, I'm not perfect at this. There are days where I just want to fall asleep in class too, and you know, there are days where it's hard for me to pay attention. I know, but do your best, really, just do your best. So, like I said, early on, develop those relationships with your teachers and try and learn as much as you can from them, and learn about maybe who they are as a person, and ask them for help whenever you need it, because it'll help you develop, or you know, it'll help you grow as a person. And I'm pretty sure it'll make your teachers happy, because they know they're not there for nothing, right? The goal is to teach people, like they want students who are interested in what they're trying to teach. Like, so they know that they're not up there for no reason. So yeah, you know, yeah, do that. And then when you go to ask them for a reference letter, it's very important that you ask ahead of time. I am not always the best at this. I have done very short deadlines, but don't do that. It's bad. Do as I say, not as I do. But these teachers that I have asked for these references, I have developed a relationship with, and I have, you know, known them for a very long time. That doesn't make it okay, but, you know, it made it better for me. But yeah, just ask as early as possible, because you want to give them the time to write the letter, especially if it's like the first one that they've ever written for you. Because sometimes if they've already written one for you and it's really recent, then they can use the same one. But especially if it's the first time that they're writing something for you, then you want to give them time, because they are really busy people. Like, almost all the teachers that I know are really busy, and so you want to give them that time. a good thing to do as well is to give your teachers your personal statements. Some teachers will ask for them, but especially if you don't know them or if you haven't developed a really strong relationship with them yet, give them your personal statement, because your personal statement should have like a brief reflection of who you are as a person and what you've been through to get to where you are. So if you don't have a strong relationship with your teacher, yeah, just give them your personal statement and it'll give them an idea of who you are. And another thing is that if you haven't paid attention in a class and you haven't exactly done really good in a class, I would maybe not get a reference letter from those guys. You want to get reference letters from teachers who you've done well in their class, because they probably have better things to say about you. I mean, I don't know how your relationship with teachers are, but you know, I would, yeah, generally say get somebody whose class you've done well in, or just get somebody who like can vouch for your hard work, really, because you may not think that somebody is going to write a bad personal statement about you, but it can happen, and I know it does happen. Thankfully, I don't think it's happened to me, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, you know, get somebody who you know is gonna write good things about you, and if you want to, you can always just ask them, like, will you be willing to write a good letter for me? Like, will you be able to say good things about me? And you know, that's perfectly fine, and I don't think any teacher or anybody should be like upset or taken off by that, and it's better to do that than have somebody send in a bad a bad reference letter for you. So, you know, just don't be afraid to do that. So once you've completed all of the other areas of your application, you have your references, you have your personal statement, any other like logistic information that they want from you, you've got to send your letter in. And like, I cannot emphasize this enough, earlier the better. The earlier the better. You don't want to be sending in your application in last minute, because that doesn't really look good on you. It makes you look like you procrastinate and, you know, you don't do things until last minute, which is not really good. But if you have to send it in last minute, be aware of any sort of time differences that may be in place. So if you are applying for a scholarship and they said the deadline is like 12 p.m. Eastern time, but for like me, I'm in Hawaii, so we're on like Hawaii Standard Time, I had to make a conscious effort to realize that there is a time difference and that the time for me is different than the time that is posted. So that's something really important. If you absolutely have to save your application till last minute, then make sure you realize that there are time differences and accommodate for those time differences as well. Usually there will be a deadline for you as the applicant, and then there will be another deadline shortly after your deadline for your references. So if it's coming upon that time, you've sent in your application, you're good, and you're just waiting for your references, don't be afraid to send a little like gentle reminder that that you know you need your references to send in their letter, because like, you know, like I said earlier, teachers are very busy, and you know, sometimes things happen and maybe your email like just got buried at the bottom of any of the other hundreds of emails they're probably receiving. So, you know, don't be afraid to send a gentle reminder. A lot of them will ask you to send a gentle reminder, or at least in my experience, a lot of my professors have asked me to send them a gentle reminder. And then sometimes the application that you're doing will have the opportunity that you can just like click a little button and it'll send them a reminder email. So if you need to, then I would say maybe like a week before the deadline for references is due, like send them that little reminder. Now you've received your acceptance from the scholarship program. They've let you know you've got it. Yay! And so what you want to do first is email them back as soon as possible, because a lot of the times there will be like a deadline as to when you can accept your scholarship, or else they're going to give the scholarship to somebody else. And so as soon as possible, email them back and tell them thank you, because out of all of the applicants that have applied, you were chosen. So make sure to let them know that you're grateful. Yeah, so let them know you're happy, and I'm sure you're ecstatic because you just got a lot of money to go study abroad. So show them. So now moving on to my first 2 weeks here at Waikato. It's been really awesome so far, just getting into my home and getting closer with my flatmates, and doing a lot of studying because it's not a study abroad if you're not studying, but like I do like my classes and my teachers are great, so that's really awesome. And we had a week, so there was a lot of activities going on and like a lot of like free giveaways. So many free giveaways. This school is insanely generous with like all of the free food and free like coupons, and there was like free drinks and food vendors, and there was a t-shirt rocket. So if you don't have an idea of what it is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like a gun where they stuff t-shirts into it and just shoot them out into the audience. It was crazy. You will see it. We went on a trip to Waitomo, which was like one of the coolest thing ever. It was an area where you could see glowworms, and glowworms are a big like attraction here in New Zealand because honestly they're just so magical. Like I don't have any pictures or videos, but because you're not allowed to take pictures or videos when you're in the caves, because they really want you to come and see it for themselves. And like, to the native people, like these glowworms are very like sacred, and it's a part of their culture, and it's a family run business. So if you really want to go see it, like come to New Zealand. It's a great place, and you will hopefully see all the beauty and magic in it. But anyways, yeah, the glowworms are really cool. I'm gonna get a little bit like sciencey here. So their scientific name is Arachnocampa luminosa. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, it's Arachnocampa luminosa, and I'm reading off of something that I wrote earlier. But yeah, so when you see the glowworms glowing, they're in their larval stage of becoming a fungus gnatfly. So that's when they're full adult, they're a fungus gnatfly. But the glowing light is made from this biochemical reaction. It's known as bioluminescence. A lot of you may be familiar with like the pet store fish that have like the glowy stuff on it, and those are also bioluminescence. So those are actually made to be bioluminescence, which is pretty cool. So the energy to make the light that they emits from them is sourced from an energy-rich protein called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. And so this energy-rich protein is made inside the larva of the glowworm. So what they do is they produce this cold light, and it's a pure light with almost no associated heat, which is pretty interesting. The glowworm larva uses the light at the end of its tail to lure small flying insects that are lost in the cave, and then they eat them. And they have this little like dangly mucus kind of thing that comes from them, and I think that's what the insects get trapped into, and this is what the mucus looks like when you shine a light on it. But at night it's just this like beautiful, looks like constellations in the sky, or like just glowing little bits of magic in the air. The cave tour that we went on let us get on a boat, and then we got to sit in the boat and sit in like complete darkness except for the glowworms that were right above us, and that's all you could see, and it was just so magical. It literally took my breath away, and I would highly recommend going to see them. So after Waitomo, we went on some nature walks, and I saw a New Zealand fantail, which is a bird, and I really like birds a lot. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last one. Yeah, but back at home I work in a bioacoustic lab, and I work with a bunch of bird nerds, so like I was really excited to see the birds, and I think I mentioned in my introduction video that like I'm really excited to see the birds here. Anyways, so I saw a New Zealand fantail, and their scientific name is Rhipidura fulginosa, which I'm not 100% sure that I pronounced that right either, but anyways, I think they're closely related to one of my favorite Hawaiian birds called the elepaio, and their scientific name is Chasiempus sandwichensis. And the New Zealand fantail is also known as the pea waka waka, because I guess that's like the sound that they make. And it's funny because in Hawaii, a lot of the Hawaiian names for birds are off of the sounds that they make. Like there's a bird called the iiwi, and it's because when you hear one of its calls, it literally sounds like it's saying iiwi, and it's really cool. So that even here in New Zealand, of course, it's like similar Polynesian culture, and they name their birds after the sounds that they make too. So that bird was really cute. I actually put a picture of it right here. They're really adorable. And then this is the elepaio over here, and so you can kind of see that they look pretty similar, and they're both kind of like the very cheeky creatures. Like they come up to you, and they come up so close. Like I've heard people have had them actually land on them before, and they're just very curious creatures, and I think they like to eat the bugs that you kind of dig up when you're walking around in the forest, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I got to see those guys, and yeah, besides that, it's just been mostly doing normal school stuff, going to classes and studying and going to the library and hanging out with flatmates. So I'll just post a couple videos of all of that and how my first 2 weeks have been going, and maybe any extra adventures or anything that I forgot to post, but most of it's just like normal daily stuff like grocery shopping and stuff. So here you go, this is my life. enjoyed getting a little snippet of what's been happening in the first couple weeks that I was here. Tomorrow there's going to be the Zuru Night Glow, and that's like a festival of hot air balloons, and it's going on literally right outside of my room right now, along with somebody playing rap music right outside. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna be happening, and then I will also show you something that is going to be a surprise if you don't already know. And then I'm also headed to the Tongariro Alpine Crossing, not this weekend, but next weekend. So I will make sure to take a lot of videos for that, and I will show you how that goes. But yeah, I'll be excited to share the next couple of weeks with you, and but until then, I will see you later, and I hope you have a very good day or evening or whatever time it is where you are right now. I hope you have a good one, and I will see you later.